Welcome to Nassau Community College Forum. This program explores our rich educational environment, including our dedicated faculty, administration, student clubs, and more than 70 fields of study, along with the students who make this college the largest single-campus community college in the state and is the first choice for one of every 4 college-bound high school graduates in Nassau County.
Hello, I'm Kevin Boston Hill, and welcome to Nassau Community College Forum, where each week we will shine a spotlight on a different department, club, or area here at Nassau Community College. Today, we will explore coursework in Interdisciplinary Studies. Our guests today are professors from the English department, Dr. William Moeck, coordinator of the Multidisciplinary Course Project, and Dr. Florence Boodakian, coordinator of the Human Rights Studies Project. Welcome both of you to NCC Forum on 90.3 WHPC.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
So, before we actually get into what interdisciplinary studies entails, let's find out a little bit about you and your respective journeys and how you got here. So, Dr. Moeck, would you like to begin?
How I got to Nassau.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was looking for a teaching job in the metropolitan area that was at a liberal arts school, and I remember scrolling through the campus catalog at the time and seeing that there was a multidisciplinary course project. And since it reminded me of my own liberal arts education as an undergraduate, I became interested in it. And when I was lucky enough to be hired here, that's one of the first things I pursued outside of my English department work.
Excellent. Thank you. And Dr. Boodakian?
Yes, I was teaching at NYU in the General Studies program there, and was looking for a full-time position as well. And prior to that, I had actually taught on semester at sea. And that is what brought me into the, postdoc work, which was really far away from what I did my original doctorate in, which was British literature. But I ended up finding so many experiences in the 10 countries that I taught in that brought me to human rights studies. And at that time, Dr. Sharon Leader was working with a group in human rights and Holocaust studies. Mm-hmm. And in 2003, she saw my interest and saw my work and had asked me if I would like to take over the project, and I was very happy to do so.
Oh, very excellent. I think that's fascinating that you taught in 10 different countries.
Yes, we went to, at that time it was prior, obviously, to 9/11,
Mm-hmm.
so we were able to cross the Red Sea, and I taught in Croatia, I taught in Egypt, Malaysia, yeah. But it was an eye-opening experience.
I'm quite sure, and I'm sure your students get the benefit of all those experiences as well.
I tried.
So, I understand that interdisciplinary studies is really a program of study, and there are several things that go into it here at Nassau Community College. Share with us a little bit about what's really involved in those projects.
Well, the idea behind the different interdisciplinary projects, such as human rights and MDC, which is short for multidisciplinary, is that you are studying material that's too important and too influential to be located within any one single academic discipline. So when I mean material, I don't mean just books. I mean, we're talking about ideas, like an idea like Buddhism, an idea like existentialism, an idea like Cubism, or artists, whether it's Frida Kahlo or Louis Armstrong. I mean, a figure like Louis Armstrong had influence far outside just the world of music. I mean, he's had a transformative effect on the civil rights in the United States. So people like Charles Darwin or Freud, I mean, these are figures who have affected more than just biology or psychology. I mean, the influence of Freud can be seen in the art world. The influence of Darwin can be seen in social policy when we talk about social Darwinism and things like that. So these subjects draw on methodologies from all different fields. So that's why the faculty members who teach in the interdisciplinary projects are, not all from one department. And Professor Boodakian and I happen to be from the English department, but we have people teaching in our fields from foreign languages, from biology, from history, from music, and so on.
Okay. Dr. Boodakian?
Yes, and I think in human rights studies particularly, there's a very good cross-section of both literature, art. We like to teach it from a humanities also perspective, even though there is an argument to be made, and we do try to cover, but again, it's such a broad field.
Right.
The legal piece of it, I did go to law school for 1 year, and I see so much, and I taught also in the University of Nice, and what we did was we actually were in the law school where the students had that kind of a background. But I think for our student body, what's very interesting is they can see the intersection of their own rights within the rights of, let's say, the Jews during the Holocaust or the Rwandan Holocaust, or just talking about policing in Nassau County, you know. So there's a wide range of topics that affect our students directly, and I think that's why the course has gotten so popular. They tend to see the accessibility to understanding their own position as an active voice in the society, you know, as an activist.
Right.
You know.
It's almost like the saying goes that the more things change, the more they stay the same. And you either learn from history or you're doomed to repeat it, type of thing. So it's things that we've seen in the past are kind of re-emerging now in the present, kind of in a different package, but it's the same issues that we've been dealing with for kind of throughout all of time.
Right. When we talk about racial profiling, for example, you know, we can make the connection to so much of the Holocaust literature. You know, there's so much to be said. When you teach Viktor Frankl, The Meaning of Life as a separate text in literature, or teach it in human rights studies,
that
it's
in
very
human rights? I didn't know that. Is it called The Meaning of Life? It's a Holocaust memoir.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. You're listening to Nassau Community College Forum on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Kevin Boston Hill, and our guests today are Dr. William Moeck, coordinator of the Multidisciplinary Course Project, or MDC, and Dr. Florence D. Boodakian, coordinator of the Human Rights Studies Project here at Nassau Community College. So let me ask both of you, because both of those projects sound extremely fascinating, because it seems that you're not locked into any one particular course of study, like if you're a biology major or a finance major or something like that. So how would a student or anyone get involved in such a project?
Well, there are a number of ways. First, what we like to do is we like to introduce students through Human Rights Day in December, which is the anniversary of the signing of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we have an event that day which brings students and faculty together. We do various things, have various speakers in. And once the students are aware of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and many students aren't, even the ones who actually sign up for the course, I think it resonates with them, because they say, wait a minute, these things are written down somewhere, but, you know, they're not enforced in many places, including the United States. So we try to do things like that. And also we have just instituted an internship course. So we're going to try to give students some applied learning experience where they're actually going to go into the field. I worked very closely with Witness, which is it started out as a very low-key kind of underground grassroots organization. It's now, you know, huge. And we're trying to get students interning there. Human Rights Watch, various locations in the city, smaller NGOs. So there's a lot of opportunity. As far as the courses are concerned, I think a lot has to be done. I try to go into classrooms and have conversations with faculty and students as well, to make them aware that this is available and that it does fulfill the pluralism and diversity requirements that we have at SUNY and such. So I think little by little, it took us a while but I think now in the cultural moment we're in, students are very aware. And they're asking us, are there more human rights courses? So we're hopefully developing the projects. We have a peace studies course now, which is doing well. So I'm seeing this as a burgeoning field, even on the campus as well.
I think our strategy at MDC is similar, but a little different. We start with pizza. We have monthly pizza parties to get students in to, as we discuss topics of relevance to the program, things like artificial intelligence or the great economic inequalities in society, or even about a particular artist or writer. Like human rights, the MDC project has meetings throughout the semester that are open to all, but usually there's a once-a-year big event, a colloquium intended for the entire college community in which there's some kind of featured speaker drawn in. Last year we had someone talk about Virginia Woolf, the British writer, and her importance in the suffragette movement and as a spokesman for the dignity of women. Other years we've had someone perform a play called Karl Marx in Soho, which talks about, Karl Marx is an interesting figure, whether you're interested in communism or not, but he forces you to confront the question of whether greed is natural in human behavior or if it's something learned as a result of capitalism, whether we are naturally greedy or if the capitalist system, in fact, makes people greedy. So this is, I think, one of these big questions of the kind that come up in human rights also that need to be discussed. And there's no simple answer to it. There are a million ways of looking at it. And that's, I think, the appeal of all the interdisciplinary projects. They force you to think about questions that you will have with you for the rest of your life.
Right. So let me ask this question really quick. How, I guess, aside from the Marx and Virginia Woolf, who are some of the other, I guess, thinkers or leaders that that are studied through one of these projects?
Well, we certainly, of course, discuss Martin Luther King. And when we talk about King, we talk about the entire civil rights movement and how individual people made a difference. And I think that's also a piece that's interesting, talking about the resistance and talking about resistance as, for example, during World War II and then resistance now, and how that continuum works. And we like to bring in people who are doing things kind of in the moment. So one of the leaders of the Black Lives Movement, people like that who have their sort of hand right on what's going on that would be relative to the students. Many writers and artists who, as well, who have, very interesting and sort of Elie Wiesel, for example. And we look at art. We had a young artist come in who actually did work on the various groups of indigenous people, who have suffered and have been displaced also over time. So I think for our students, that kind of and we are very visual, I would say, also, as well as textual. I like to do both. Most of the faculty who are teaching in the project are trying to really engage students in both of those areas. We're doing something on virtual reality, actually.
Excellent. I'd like to hear a lot more about that as soon as we come back from our break. So just hold that thought for a moment. You are listening to Nassau Community College Forum. I'm Kevin Boston Hill, and my guests today are Dr. William Moeck, coordinator of the Multidisciplinary Course Project, and Dr. Florence Boodakian, coordinator of the Human Rights Studies Project here at Nassau Community College. We'll be right back after this important message on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
paralyzed veterans